Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive with us. Today we're going to tackle something that I'm sure a lot of you out there deal with, and that is leading a team full of really great, capable people. It's a little different than just managing tasks, right?
Yeah, it really turns traditional leadership on its head. You're dealing with people who are always kind of pushing the limits,
Right.
questioning assumptions, potentially even like disrupting things.
Yeah, exactly. So we're diving into this book, How to Lead Smart People by Arun Singh and Mike Mister. They give some really practical advice for this specific leadership challenge.
What struck me is how much they emphasize like tailoring your leadership to these bright minds, like the old top-down approach. That just doesn't work here.
Right, totally. The book starts with this section called Leading Me, which I thought was interesting. They really get into how important self-awareness is and authenticity as a leader. Was that surprising to you at all?
No, not really. They make a good point that smart people can see right through you if you're being fake. They're drawn to leaders who are genuine, have good emotional intelligence, and give off positive energy. It's all about building trust, not just being the boss.
That's a good point. And speaking of something that a lot of smart people struggle with, the book talks about imposter syndrome.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? Even the most accomplished people can doubt themselves. But the authors give some good strategies for overcoming that and building real confidence.
One thing that really stuck with me in that section was how important it is for leaders to always be learning. I can see why that's so crucial in this context.
For sure. Smart people are naturally curious and always want to learn new things. So to lead them well, you got to stay ahead of the game. The book suggests checking out a bunch of different things for learning, industry events, TED Talks, even looking back at your own experiences.
Okay, this is where it starts to get really interesting to me. The book moves into leading the team and dives right into delegation.
And it's not just about dumping work on people, it's about helping your team learn new skills and grow. They talk about this SMART plus Q method for effective delegation that leads to good results and helps people develop.
Can you break down that SMART plus Q thing a little? Like, how would that work in a real situation?
Basically, it makes sure everyone's clear on what they need to do. Like every objective has to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. And then the Q part is all about the quality stuff, the standards, and who's doing what.
I like that. It's a good framework.
hmm
The book also talks about motivation and how, for these folks, it's not just about the money.
Exactly. Smart people are often driven by work that challenges them intellectually, having a sense of purpose, and getting recognized for their contributions. The authors say it's super important to create an environment where people feel motivated, give them the right level of support, and acknowledge both their effort and the results they get.
So it's like finding that sweet spot where you're supporting them but not holding them back.
Absolutely. And speaking of finding that balance, the book talks about how to give feedback that helps people grow, which can be tough when you're dealing with folks who are already pretty competent.
Yeah, I bet a lot of leaders struggle with that. It's easy to just focus on what went wrong instead of how to improve in the future.
Exactly. The key is to give feedback that's specific, given at the right time, and focused on getting better, not dwelling on the mistakes. And the book gives some really practical tips for doing that.
So we've covered self-awareness, delegation, motivation, and feedback. What other things does the book help us navigate when leading these bright minds?
One of the biggest myths it busts is this idea that multitasking makes you more productive, which is something I think we've all fallen into at some point.
Oh, for sure. Especially now when everything's so fast-paced, it's almost expected. But are you saying that it might actually be holding us back?
That's exactly what the book argues. It points out how bad multitasking is for both leaders and their teams. Instead, it suggests focusing on one thing at a time to get better results.
I think a lot of people need to hear that. Being able to focus is becoming more and more rare and valuable these days.
It's true. The book gives some practical ways to improve that focus, which is really important for both individual and team success.
And another area where focus is key is presentations. The book talks about how to make presentations that really grab the attention of smart audiences. I'm guessing it takes more than just fancy slides to impress these folks.
You're right. It goes beyond the typical PowerPoint. They talk about using storytelling, body language, and presenting information in a way that engages their analytical minds.
It's like you need to spark their curiosity, not just throw a bunch of data at them.
Exactly. And another interesting point they make is that leadership isn't always about having all the answers, especially in today's world where things are constantly changing.
So what do they say about dealing with situations where you're not sure what the right path is? It can't always be easy sailing.
They talk about the importance of being decisive, even when things are uncertain. It's about getting the right information, considering different perspectives, and ultimately trusting your gut based on what you know.
So it's about being comfortable with not knowing everything, which is a valuable skill in itself. What other strategic insights does the book offer for leading in this complex world?
One of the most fascinating chapters is about how powerful storytelling can be as a leadership tool. It's something that's so human and connects with us on a deep level.
Well, I'm so glad they included that. It seems so fundamental to how we connect and communicate.
Absolutely. They dive into how stories can make complex ideas easier to understand and remember, making you a more effective leader.
So we're not just talking about inspirational anecdotes. Are there specific kinds of stories that work best?
It can be all sorts of stories, inspirational ones that resonate with your audience, really illustrate your points, and make the information stick.
So it's about making those abstract ideas come to life. What other essential leadership skills does the book equip us with? I mean, leading this kind of team requires a lot of different approaches.
Well, the book acknowledges that no matter who you are, as a leader, you're going to have to deal with office politics, especially when you're trying to make changes or start new things. It's something a lot of people try to avoid, but it's really important.
Absolutely. I think it's important to remember that politics isn't always a bad thing. It's often about understanding the subtle ways that power and influence work within an organization.
You're exactly right. The authors emphasize that you need to understand and use influence in an ethical way to achieve your goals. It's not about manipulating the system, it's about building relationships, understanding how power works, and effectively advocating for your ideas and your team.
So it's about working strategically within the system, not constantly fighting against it.
Precisely. And speaking of building relationships, the book ends with a chapter on strategic networking.
I'm guessing this is more than just collecting business cards at events. That seems kind of superficial.
It definitely is. They talk about how important it is to build real connections, offer something valuable to your network, and build relationships that support your goals and give you different perspectives.
So it's about building a network that can help you navigate all the complexities we talked about earlier. We've covered so much already. Is there anything else that stood out to you from how to lead smart people?
What I really liked about the book is how it looks at the whole picture. It recognizes that leading bright minds isn't just about having certain skills, it's also about having the right mindset, a commitment to constantly reflecting on yourself and growing as a person.
That's a great point. It's not just about what you do, but how you think and how you keep evolving as a leader.
Exactly. The authors really emphasize staying true to your values, being open to learning and growing, and creating authentic connections with your team.
That's a perfect place to wrap up part one of our deep dive. We've looked at the basics of leading yourself, leading the team, and navigating the challenges that come with this kind of leadership.
And in part two, we'll continue exploring, going deeper into the book's insights on building influence, encouraging innovation, and creating a vision that inspires smart people to do amazing things. See you then. Welcome back to our discussion about leading those brilliant minds.
We covered a lot of ground in part one. We talked about the personal side of leading, like being self-aware, authentic, and always learning, and how to empower your team through things like good delegation and motivation.
Yeah, we also touched on how to handle the challenges of our fast-paced world. Things like avoiding that multitasking trap, giving presentations that really hit home, and making tough decisions when the way forward isn't so clear.
Right, exactly. So now in part two, we're going to zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture within an organization. We're going to unpack more of those strategic insights from how to lead smart people.
We'll be diving into building influence, how to encourage innovation, and navigating those sometimes tricky waters of office politics.
And we'll explore the power of storytelling and mentorship as leadership tools. I'm really interested to hear more about that.
Okay, well, let's jump right in with one of the most important things for any leader: establishing and maintaining credibility. And this is even more crucial when you're leading smart people.
Right. The book makes it clear that for these folks, credibility isn't just about your title or position. It's about showing real expertise.
Absolutely. It's about walking the walk, consistently delivering on your promises, and earning your team's respect through what you do and who you are. It's about aligning your actions with your words.
So basically, being a person of integrity is non-negotiable.
You got it. Smart people can easily spot when someone isn't being genuine. They respect leaders who are authentic, knowledgeable, and always act with integrity. And one place where this really shows up is in how you interact with clients.
Yeah, that makes sense. Clients, especially in those professional service fields, want to work with leaders who really get their business, not just someone who has technical skills. They're looking for a deeper level of understanding.
Exactly. The book talks about the importance of really understanding your clients' industries, their challenges, what they're aiming for, and who they're competing with. It goes beyond just being an expert in your own field.
So it's more about becoming a trusted advisor, someone
Mhm.
who can offer strategic advice and help them make smart decisions, someone who brings real value.
Precisely. And to do that, you've got to keep learning, stay curious, and engage with your clients on a level that's more than just transactional. It's all about building those meaningful connections.
This is all resonating with me. But,
Yeah.
but what about those times when you need to step up and assert your leadership, even when it means making hard choices or pushing for change that some people might resist? It can't always be smooth sailing.
Well, one of the key ideas they talk about is leading up, which is especially relevant when you're trying to influence your boss or people higher up than you.
Yeah, a lot of people struggle with that, especially when they're early in their careers. It can be tough to navigate those power dynamics.
It's definitely a skill you can develop, and the book gives some good advice on how to do it.
So what's the secret to leading up effectively without stepping on toes or coming across as insubordinate? It's a tricky balance.
It's about understanding your boss's priorities, anticipating their needs, and offering solutions instead of just pointing out problems, being proactive and showing that you think ahead.
So showcasing your strategic thinking and initiative.
Exactly. And also framing your suggestions in a way that aligns with the overall goals of the organization,
Yeah.
showing that you're not just pushing for your team's agenda.
So being a strategic contributor, not just a task manager, that strategic mindset seems crucial when you're leading peers too, which is another dynamic the book addresses.
For sure. This can be a tricky one, especially when you're working with people who are all very capable and driven. It calls for a subtle approach.
Yeah, I imagine it's different than leading people who report to you. You're not relying on formal authority here.
Mm.
It's more about building influence through collaboration, working towards common goals and mutual respect, more facilitating than dictating.
You nailed it. The book stresses the importance of clear communication, really listening to understand, and finding ways to tap into each person's strengths. It's about harnessing collective intelligence.
Yeah, creating that environment where everyone feels valued and like they can contribute their best ideas, a real sense of synergy.
Exactly. And that collaborative spirit is also essential when it comes to fostering innovation within your team. This is where the magic happens.
Oh, I love this aspect of leadership, how to create an environment where intelligent people feel like they can experiment, take risks, and come up with those groundbreaking ideas. It's about unleashing that creative potential.
The book suggests starting by building what they call psychological safety. It's about creating a space where people feel comfortable sharing their ideas, even if they're a little out there or not fully developed. It's about embracing those early sparks of creativity.
And making it okay to fail right. Not every idea is going to be a winner, but you don't want to stifle creativity by punishing people for taking risks.
Hmm.
It's about encouraging a growth mindset.
Exactly. It's about celebrating the effort and the lessons learned, even if the initial outcome isn't what you hoped for. Embracing those valuable learning experiences.
So how do you actually encourage that kind of experimentation? Are we talking brainstorming sessions, hackathons, design thinking workshops? What are some practical approaches?
Those methods can definitely be part of it, and the book does give some advice on how to use them effectively, but it also emphasizes that innovation isn't limited to formal processes. It's about nurturing a mindset of constantly looking for ways to improve things, even in everyday work. It's about building a culture of continuous improvement.
So it's about weaving that innovative spirit into the very fabric of the team's culture, making it an integral part of how they operate.
Exactly. And a big part of that is recognizing and rewarding people who come up with new ideas and solutions, even if they're just small, incremental improvements. It's about acknowledging those contributions, no matter how small they might seem.
So basically, you're reinforcing that behavior and showing them that you value creativity and initiative, creating a positive feedback loop.
You got it. And speaking of recognizing and rewarding talent, the book also dives into the importance of mentorship as a leadership tool.
Oh, I'm so glad they talk about this. Mentorship is such a powerful way for people to develop leadership skills and learn from those who've been there before. It's about learning from experience.
Absolutely. The authors highlight the benefits of both being a mentor and having one, emphasizing that it's a two-way street.
Yeah, so you're sharing your knowledge and experience to help others grow while also staying open to learning from those you mentor. It's about creating a shared learning experience.
Exactly. And a key takeaway here is that mentorship shouldn't just be limited to formal programs. It's about fostering those informal connections where you can offer guidance, support, and encouragement to the people you lead. It's about creating an environment of support and growth.
It's about investing in your team's development, not just focusing on what they produce. It's about nurturing their potential.
And that investment in people is a theme that runs throughout How to Lead Smart People. It's about understanding the value of human capital.
It really is. It's about understanding that your team is your most valuable asset and that creating an environment where they can thrive is key to your success as a leader. It's a win-win.
And that brings us to another crucial aspect of leadership, conflict resolution,
Yeah.
which is bound to happen when you're working with intelligent and opinionated people. It's about managing those inevitable disagreements in a productive way.
Yeah, I bet that can be especially tricky when everyone has strong opinions and isn't afraid to share them. It can easily turn into a clash of egos.
Oh, it definitely can. But the book offers some good strategies for handling those situations constructively.
So how do you prevent disagreements from turning into huge blowouts? How do you keep those conversations productive?
It starts with creating a culture of respect where people feel comfortable sharing their perspectives without feeling attacked or dismissed.
Mhm.
It's about making it safe to disagree respectfully.
So kind of like that psychologically safe environment we talked about before, making it okay to have different opinions.
Exactly. It's also about actively listening, trying to understand where the other person is coming from and finding some common ground. It's about bridging those
It's
divides.
about focusing on the goals you share and reminding everyone that they're on the same team, ultimately working towards the same purpose.
And sometimes it means making a tough decision, even if it means not everyone will be happy with it. It's about making those hard calls when you have to.
Right. Sometimes you just got to make that difficult, maybe even unpopular decision, clearly explain why you made it and move forward. It's about being decisive and transparent.
Exactly. And that ability to make tough calls, communicate well, and build consensus is really important when it comes to another big challenge for leaders, stakeholder management.
So how does the book suggest we navigate that often complicated web of stakeholders within an organization? It can feel like you're walking through a minefield sometimes.
Well, it starts with figuring out who your key stakeholders are, understanding what they're interested in and how much influence they have, and then coming up with a plan to engage with them effectively. It's about mapping out that stakeholder landscape.
So you create a tailored communication strategy based on a deep understanding of your stakeholders.
Exactly. It's also about building relationships, anticipating potential roadblocks, and proactively addressing concerns before they turn into big problems. It's about being proactive and building bridges.
It's about finding ways to align everyone's interests as much as possible, creating a shared sense of purpose.
And one of the best ways to do that, to bring everyone together and communicate your vision effectively, is through the power of storytelling.
Yes, I'm so glad we're coming back to this. We touched on it earlier, but I really want to explore how we can use storytelling to be better leaders. It's such a powerful way to connect with people and get them on board.
The book really emphasizes that stories are more than just entertainment. They're a powerful way to connect with people on an emotional level, simplify complex ideas, and inspire action. It's about tapping into the power of narrative.
So it's about finding those stories that resonate with your audience and help them understand the why behind your actions and decisions. It's about giving meaning to your actions.
Exactly. And the book gives some practical tips on how to craft those compelling stories using vivid language, relatable characters, and a clear story arc. It's about turning information into a captivating experience.
So you're transforming those abstract ideas into something concrete and relatable, bringing them to life through the power of storytelling.
You got it. And those stories can come from your own experiences, case studies, historical events. The possibilities are endless. The key is to pick stories that match your message and resonate with your audience.
So it's about choosing those stories strategically to make the biggest impact.
And delivering them authentically with passion and conviction. Let that genuine enthusiasm shine through.
That's so important. It's not just about the words themselves, it's about how you deliver them. It's about the energy you bring to the story.
Exactly. And this leads us to the final strategic insight we'll cover in this part of our deep dive, developing and communicating a compelling vision.
I'm really excited to explore this. Having a clear vision seems essential for inspiring and motivating a team, especially one made up of smart and ambitious individuals. It gives them something to strive for.
It's absolutely crucial. The book makes it clear that a vision is more than just a lofty goal. It's a roadmap for the future, a destination that everyone can get behind. It's about creating a shared sense of purpose.
So it's about painting a picture of what's possible and motivating people to work together to achieve it. It's about fostering a shared sense of purpose.
Exactly. The book provides some valuable guidance on developing a vision that resonates with your team, taking into account their aspirations, values, and the challenges you're all facing together. It's about creating something that feels both authentic and achievable.
So it's about avoiding those generic corporate slogans and instead creating something that feels meaningful and inspiring to the team.
Exactly. Once you've crafted that vision, it's essential to communicate it effectively using storytelling, visual aids, and anything else that can bring it to life. It's about making it tangible and engaging.
It's about making it an experience, not just a statement, something
Yeah.
that people can connect with both emotionally and intellectually.
And that connection is what ultimately fuels commitment, motivation, and exceptional outcomes. It's about aligning hearts and minds toward a shared goal.
Wow, we've covered so much in this discussion. We've explored building credibility leading up and across, fostering innovation, navigating conflict, managing stakeholders, leveraging storytelling, and developing a compelling vision.
And in the final part of our deep dive, we'll wrap things up with the key takeaways from how to lead smart people and explore some practical tips for applying these insights to your own journey as a leader.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into how to lead smart people. We've really gone through a lot of great information from Arun Singh and Mike Mister.
It's been a great journey, hasn't it? From those basic principles to more strategic insights, we've really explored what it takes to lead these bright minds.
Totally. From understanding the importance of self-awareness and authenticity to those practical strategies like delegation, motivation, and clear communication, we've uncovered so much.
We even dug into those trickier aspects of leadership, like leading up, leading across, and how to create that culture of innovation within our teams. It's been quite the journey.
And let's not forget about the power of storytelling, finding mentors, and crafting that shared vision to inspire and empower the people we lead.
So in this last part, let's boil everything down to those top 10 takeaways. You know those actionable insights you can take and use right away on your leadership journey?
Sounds good to me. I'm ready to take all this knowledge and turn it into action. What's the first one on our list?
Well, the first and most important thing is authenticity. Remember, smart people can see right through you if you're not being real. They value leaders who are genuine, transparent, and operate with integrity. It's about being true to yourself, not putting on a show.
Yeah, they can smell a fake a mile away. So
Oh.
leading with sincerity is key.
For our second takeaway, it's all about embracing that continuous learning. To really guide these bright minds, you got to stay curious, always seek out new knowledge, and be adaptable as a leader. Complacency is the death of growth.
It's like being a student for life, always pushing yourself to learn and grow.
Number three is all about delegation. Don't fall into that micromanaging trap. Empower your team by delegating, effectively using that SMART plus Q method we talked about before. It helps them grow and develop their skills.
It's about trusting your team and giving them opportunities to stretch their wings.
Now for number four, it's all about creating that motivating environment. Remember, smart people are driven by challenges, a sense of purpose, and feeling appreciated for their hard work. It's about tapping into their intrinsic motivation and giving them chances to really shine.
So it's about building an environment where their talents can blossom.
Takeaway number five is about giving feedback that helps people improve. Be specific, timely, and focused on the future. Don't dwell on past mistakes instead. Offer guidance and support that helps them learn and grow.
So it's about turning feedback into a positive force for growth.
Our sixth takeaway is all about communication. From those impactful presentations to those tough conversations, good communication is essential for building trust, collaborating effectively, and getting things done.
Couldn't agree more. Communication really is the cornerstone of good leadership.
Now, for number seven, it's all about those strong relationships. Put effort into building those genuine connections with your team, your peers, your mentors, and stakeholders. Those relationships are the foundation for your influence and ability to achieve your goals.
It's like that reminder that leadership is really about people and connecting with them on a human level.
Number eight is about embracing innovation. Encourage your team to experiment, celebrate their effort, and create a culture where it's safe to take risks and learn from those setbacks. Innovation is key to staying ahead and achieving those groundbreaking results.
It's about building a culture where creativity and continuous improvement are valued.
For number nine, remember to navigate those organizational dynamics. Understand how influence works, build strategic partnerships, and learn how to lead up across and within your organization.
So basically, understand the political landscape and work it to your advantage.
And finally, for number 10, it's all about crafting that compelling vision. Create a clear and inspiring vision for the future, one that resonates with your team and guides them towards achieving those amazing things.
It's like painting that picture of a future that everyone can rally behind.
And there you have it, our top 10 takeaways from How to Lead Smart People. Think of it as your roadmap to successful leadership in this unique environment.
I hope this deep dive has been helpful and given you some practical strategies you can use on your own leadership journey.
And remember, leading these bright minds is both challenging and rewarding. It takes a unique blend of skills, the right mindset, and that constant desire to grow and develop as a leader.
By following these principles, you can create an environment where your team can truly thrive and achieve amazing results.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the art of leading smart people. We hope you found it insightful and engaging, but most importantly, that you can apply it to your own leadership journey.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep leading with excellence.